All right. So, welcome to this special edition of Marriage for Grown Folks. I am one half of the co-hosting team here, Steve, and over there in that green, beautiful thing, aqua teal. There's an essence and a glow coming from this lady. That is my beautiful wife, Elizabeth.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right,
Hi,
and
I'm
this
Liz.
is
Marriage
Marriage for
for Grown
Grown Folks.
Folks.
Now, usually I do this spiel about what we are and what we exist for and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, we're here because we love each other.
Yep.
And as you can see, we want to shine the light on this thing that we call marriage. It's an elite fraternity. I was talking to my sister-in-law. Shout out to Arnea. Talking to my sister-in-law, remarking to her that it's harder to get married people out of the house. You know why?
Why?
Because they've got kids and obligations and all of these different things going on. And there just aren't as many of us as there used to be.
Mm.
And that's why we exist. I think there's a conversation to be had and there's things to be talked about in that regard. You know, so when I look out in the audience and see my good people like Dave and MC Maggie D or Magdalene who just got married, you know what I mean? Congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
Yep. So the newlyweds,
Yep.
fresh from Hawaii, brand new house.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let people trick you into thinking that you got to have the baby right now. It's a trick. It's a trick. Don't let them fool you. All right. So let's have some fun.
Let us do it.
All right. So listen, temp check.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's you, man.
That's me all day.
No.
All right. Excuse my phone, y'all. All right. So today we're going to play a little bit of a game.
Let's get to it.
It's called This or That.
This or that. This or that. Come on.
Okay. So I'm going to call out two things
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to get incrementally more like in depth.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Lake or ocean?
Ocean.
Boo.
What do you
Lake.
say?
I say
You
lake.
say lake?
Yeah, so he took me to Big Bear Lake earlier this week and definitely was a new experience. It was so beautiful. I am an ocean girl, but I'm not knocking a lake anymore.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right.
Pancakes or French toast?
French toast.
You got that right. Staycation or a vacation?
How about vacation? No, that's not one of them.
I mean, yeah,
All right. I'm going to go staycation. Can I tell you why?
please.
Staycation. We happen to move to a state where you can pretty much drive 2 hours this way or that way. You're in another place.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than spend millions and millions of dollars to go to the Dominican Republic,
When have you
Jamaica,
spent millions of dollars?
Hawaii, blah, 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 blah. Those places are cool, but we got it right here. So
Mhm.
I'm going to go staycation.
Okay, so my follow-up question for this would be like the staycation, is it with or without our children?
Without the children.
Okay. Then we on the same page.
What children you talking about?
Right. All right. Music or podcast?
Music.
Huh.
Music.
Podcast all day
Mm.
for me.
I said it for years. I will be jealous of my brothers and all of the musicians forever.
Huh.
When they sit in front of a instrument, whether it's string, drum, whatever you percussion, horns, whatever it is, like I just have no idea how their brains can do that.
Okay.
But what I will tell you is that I'd be the best A&R of all time because I can tell you when something ain't right.
Okay.
Maybe I get that from my father. I don't
Maybe.
know. You know, because Diddy couldn't play. I'm sorry. Anyway, go
Fly or teleport?
teleport. I don't like long time. I don't like sitting for a long time.
Right.
So if
I
can
just want to wiggle
teleport,
my nose too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
oh, stop it. You mean teleport. When we fly out, you fall asleep before the engine turns on and you wake up as we touch down.
That's
so
correct.
You did get teleported.
That is correct.
Out like a light. Out like a light.
I'll be out. Okay. Don't let me get a window seat. Okay. Fend off a bear or fend off a swarm of ferrets.
Here's the deal. All right. I'm cheating on this one. I actually did at Waverly. I did a project, a paper on ferrets.
Okay.
And I had to do that because I think we were sick. I think my family all got sick for like a couple days. So when they picked the things you could choose,
Mm-hmm.
the only thing left was ferrets. I would rather fight a bear.
I'm with you on that.
Them ferrets are mean. Ferrets are mean, and they get you in so many different ways.
So I have a little bit of a story as well. So I picked bear.
Okay.
I picked bear. One summer, we had this like big patio
Yeah.
space, and I was sitting and I was eating a hamburger, but the piece of lettuce was just kind of hanging. So there was a squirrel, and for whatever reason, this squirrel
Yeah.
must have been real hungry.
Mm.
It jumped and tried to get my lettuce. Like the way the fencing was and the way the patio was,
Yeah.
and maybe I was small and they just weren't afraid.
Right.
It tried to snatch. And after that, I don't mess with squirrels, ferrets, hamsters,
Beans, greens,
rats,
beans, tomatoes,
mice.
right.
I don't like any of those things.
Got it.
And so I will fight a bear because a ferret, they just gonna get me. I surrender.
Yeah.
I surrender.
Yeah. Interesting. I got attacked by a bird a couple days ago. It's the
He
funniest
did.
thing.
He
I got
did.
attacked by a bird. And what's funny is I love birds. Dave, I love birds. Like I'm a bird guy. You know, what I mean, in my older age, I'm gonna find a way to.
He
put
wants
on
to
it.
be
I
a
want-
bird
yeah, I want
watcher.
to be a bird watcher.
Yes.
That's my weird thing. Yeah.
It happened.
So we're in Ontario because we escaped the city for the fireworks. So we shot out to Ontario, and I'm just shooting down a little patio way down the little whatever, and I see him kind of swoop down. You know what I mean? Kind of swoops down. I'm like, that's kind of low. All right. Then he comes back. Boom. He got lower, and I had my hat on, and then it hit my hat, and then I'm like, oh, he's wilding. And then he came back again. I had to take the hat off, and now I'm running. So the people who are the cleaning staff are
groundsman.
like, hey, sorry about that, bro. It happens all the time. I said, put a sign up. Get some signage.
Yeah.
That's a liability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm glad they didn't peck you.
Bears, ferrets, and birds. Got it.
I got 2 more.
Yes, ma'am.
3 more. Sorry. Make all decisions based on emotion or logic.
My sister-in-law wouldn't like that I say this. Logic. That's the man thing. That's the black and white of us. That's the
Okay.
black and white piece.
And I think that's why it's great that I'm around because,
Right. That's what makes it work.
yeah,
You got
I'm going to use
you
your
got 90
logic and my
degrees.
emotion
There it is.
to make something happen.
Perfection.
Perfect. All right. So more money or more time?
More time. You know how I get down.
Yeah. We can make more money.
Anyone who knows me, I am a productivity freak. I am straight up and down.
Okay.
If I can fit 100 things into a day,
Mhm.
I will. And it's not because I want to work. I don't like working, but I like the idea of the endorphin feel of something popping up. So the harvest of my thing that I did. So I like when I work out in the morning and in 4 weeks, now I got another tricep, Steve. My triceps is popping in 4 weeks. And I like when I invest in something and I get to see how that works in 2 weeks or a month from now or a year from now. I like those things. So time. Because time can make more money.
Same. I'm with you on that. All right. Last one. This is for everybody. This is all of you. Okay. Always feel safe. Always feel fulfilled.
Mm.
You answer first, Stephen.
Safe or fulfilled? I gotta say fulfilled. If you know anything about my brothers, even my brother who's not here, we don't mind traveling. And I think us leaving that house and leaving that tiny place, Steve knows Hartford, Connecticut, leaving that tiny place, we were obviously not traveling because we were trying to be safe. We were traveling because we were trying to fulfill something. So fulfill without a doubt.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah.
How about you, man? Fulfillment, Dave Mensa? Steve, yeah, I see all the heads shaking. Fulfillment. All right.
So I'm going to shake things up and say safety. I'm going to say safety because I'm a woman.
Well, we got you.
And safety, yes. And you got me. Thank you, Jesus. Right. But I'm going to always choose safety first because I can find my fulfillment if I feel safe. Period. But yeah.
Okay, I dig that. Just snap, 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 snap. So there's Tim check. I like that Tim check. It was really, really good.
It's a little long. My bad.
All right, no worries. Music check. We do this all the time.
Yes,
Music
we do.
Check.
Yes, we do.
What are you letting arouse your earbuds right now?
Okay. So recently I've been listening to Sabrina Claudio.
Okay.
And I hadn't heard
Yeah.
about her before.
Chris turned me on to her.
Yes. And then we heard it in something on some soundtrack or whatever. And I was like, oh, I like this vibe. I'm liking this. I don't like the controversy because I had to look her up and I want to name that. Apparently she has some racial slurs against Black women. So I didn't love that. But I'm kind of disassociating like you do, R. Kelly. Okay.
Oh, hey.
Oh, right.
Can't act like the music didn't happen. Can't act like the music didn't happen. The music happened.
My bad.
And the Cosby Show was the greatest show of all time. I'm not watching that. I will continue
baby. I'm
Right.
not. Yeah.
It is what it is. I can
Yes.
disassociate.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
But yes,
Absolutely.
all of that.
Very thoughtful. Very, very thoughtful.
Music check
Yeah,
for you.
music check. For me, you know what's funny is I got my brother in the room now. I'm old in
Yep.
spirit. You know, I remember my mom years ago like bathing me,
What that got to
and
do
she would
with you?
always be singing like all of these older songs. Tell me something good, or she'd be playing penny for your thoughts, a nickel for your kiss, a dime if you. I had no idea what she was talking about, but I'm like I've always liked that sound, that 60s, 70s, 80s sound,
Mhm.
and which culminated in the 90s. But right now I've been on Bill Withers. I think if I could be a musician, I think he writes the songs that I think other musicians wanted to write, and even his delivery, succinct, right, direct to the point. He didn't do extra stuff with his voice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? Bill
He does
Withers.
do some extra stuff.
What are you talking about?
I know. I know. I know. I know. I know. I know.
Tape.
I love him though. I love him. I love him.
Yeah. Yep.
Noted.
Awesome job. Awesome. Yeah. So Bill Withers.
Okay.
Okay.
Book club.
Book club. What you reading right now, champ?
So I just finished. I'm such a girl.
Right.
So I just finished a thriller that I loved, but it was so girly. I ain't gonna hold you. Such a Good Wife.
Okay.
It's by Serafina Nova Glass. This woman is in a rut of life.
Okay.
Not sure what's next. Not really, whatever. She gets into some mess because she has an affair.
Mm. Oh,
It's
you
a good
told me
book,
it was
though.
heading. You told me at the beginning. I said, "Oh yeah, she about to."
Yeah,
She about to
something was
step
gonna
out.
pop off. So ironically, when we were at the hotel,
Mhm.
this woman was reading the actual hardcover. I was like, "Girl, let's talk about it." And she was like, "So we did. We had a good conversation about it. Really good book, but very feminine.
Got it. It's a girly book.
It is. It was good though.
Well,
It was
speaking
good.
of speaking of girly books, I'm reading Viola Davis's book.
Her book is not girly.
Well, I was trying to have a silky segue.
Fair. Okay.
And you're right. Ain't nothing girly about this book.
No, not because it's Viola. But go ahead.
Viola. This book is crazy.
It's very good.
I think sometimes Black folks try to steer clear of that old idea of we struggled, we had this, we had that. But once again, I think it doesn't hurt to tell the truth, and her truth is so truthy.
Yes.
Like my goodness.
So the title's Finding Me, just FYI.
It's called Finding Me.
It's
Viola
her
Davis.
memoir.
And
It's
right
so good.
now, I think I'm on chapter
Mhm.
4 or 5, but it's the chapter without telling too much because you guys will get it. She's talking about 128 or one. Is it 158 or 128? That's the name. That's the number of the place that she lived in
Ooh.
in Rhode Island.
Yep, in Providence.
Steve, when I transferred from South Carolina, I transferred to Johnson and Wells, Rhode Island. So I kind of know Pawtucket and all these different places. So super chocolate girl family growing up in that part of Rhode Island. It's just really, really good telling her story. And right now, without telling you the whole thing, they're in this apartment that's kind of condemned.
It should be.
It should be condemned. So when
Mhm.
there's other people who move in, they kind of take their place, and just to, no heat, no hot water, just all bad. Sleeping with the blankets around their necks so the rats don't like bite their necks.
Mhm.
That type of stuff to me, I'm like, whoa, like I said, it's real truthy. So I'm really digging that. It's definitely a super book. It's an incredible book. And it's funny. Before we get off of that, I can't find Lincoln's bookmark that he made for me. So I've been using our handyman card. His
Yeah. Mhm.
handyman card.
Yeah.
So it
Handyman
fell,
pass.
but I'm reading about the rats. So I'm laying in bed reading about the rats, and the book dropped because the rats were in my head. So that's how vivid it is. That's how vivid it is. Incredible book, and I can't wait to get to my guy Larry Love's book after this.
Yes.
Um,
The Healing Culture.
Healing Culture. My guy Larry Love. We went to high school with Larry. Larry's so dope. Typical Hartford story.
DJ.
So dope.
Yep.
DJ, did all the bad things, but then figured it out, got his life together. And what's funny is he always showed me love. And as a matter of fact, he was the guy that pulled me off of. Mark, you heard the
The
story.
boy.
But some dude, she was my girl in high school. Some dude disrespected her. I pulled up
He
on him.
didn't disrespect me.
It felt disrespectful.
Okay.
All right.
He did not.
She had a belt. David Mensa. She had a belt that hung, right? The belt fell in between her legs. You don't get a chance to touch that belt, friend. Thank you. Thank you. That's disrespectful. Anyway, I ran up on my man.
That's
and
not
Larry
exactly
was like,
how it
and
happened,
Larry
but
was
I
like,
won't explain.
yeah, it was all wrong. But I appreciate Larry because
That's not how that went.
hey, that's the way it got back to my ear. It got back to my ear that
Wrong.
way. That's the way it walked. It might have walked backwards. It might have
Okay.
shuffled in, but it got to my ear. And it was so I ran up on this dude, and Larry, being the OG he was, hey fam, you can't have waves like that and be that aggressive. You can't have waves like that and be that aggressive. But he kind of steered me clear.
The boy had waves too.
Didn't matter. Didn't matter. So, any other books you got?
No.
Awesome.
I mean, I do, but
right.
Why?
Awesome. Yeah, that's our book club. All right. So check out Viola's book. Check out what's the name of your book called?
Such a Good Wife.
Such a Good Wife. The
Serafina
irony.
Nova Glass.
All right.
She was a good wife.
She was?
Yeah.
Okay. It just, all right. Things happen.
Things happen.
Okay. And I have another segment that we do. It's an old man rant. I call it Knock It Off. Okay. It's meant, stop laughing at me. My sister-in-law is already laughing. I see her cackling. I just like to poke fun at a few things. All right. These gray hairs that are coming in. Once again, my auntie Icy used to always say that I was an old man. All right. And I had old man mannerisms and gestures and so on and such. So this is my get off your lawn moment.
Get segment. Off my lawn.
All right. So I got a few things. One, just hear me out. All right. These Dallas Cowboy boots that these ladies are wearing is driving me absolutely insane. All right. So we're on the corner of Florence. I'm on the corner of Manchester and right where the Western Forum, the Great Western, that's how old I am, right? Is it Kia? Where the Forum is at. Where the Sizzler, Manchester, right there.
Prairie in Manchester.
Now, don't get me wrong. We live where we live. We live in Inglewood, so we're very accustomed to seeing the concert goers. They park and they walk, so you get to see, who's coming based on what they're wearing. You know what I mean? Whether it's Harry Styles or Beyonce. Beyonce shows up, we've seen all the cowboy boots.
All the silver.
That makes sense. But she wasn't in concert this month. So when I see grown women of a certain age with flat out shorts on and these Dallas Cowboy tryout boots, I'm like, yo, knock it off.
There's other.
Off.
It's a movement right now.
It's a movement?
Yeah.
Now listen.
And it's not just Beyonce.
I'm not judging. We were wearing long shorts with Timbs. In the summer. I get it. I expect to see a 4-year-old girl in her princess phase in these boots. These are grown women with these Dallas Cowboys. Knock it off.
I got boots.
Knock it off. All right? Knock it off. Knock it off. And I get it. This is LA. It's fashion forward. I totally understand. Fashion forward. Fashion forward. All right? So I'll get off of that. I'll leave it alone. And next for me, all right? I try my best not to be political, but I'm not unaware of what's going on. All right? All I know is that there are people taking pictures in front of a sign that says Alligator Alcatraz. Okay? In Florida, that beautiful place, Florida. You got family out there. I'll leave you alone. All right? So they got people out there having their children take photos in what is becoming modern day slavery. So they call it Alligator Alcatraz. Now they're talking about selling these prisoners off to farms. I said, fam, knock it off. I can't be the only person that sees this. This ain't political. This ain't nothing other than it's right there. Knock it off. Like that's modern day slavery. It's not even like sharecropping. You know what I mean? Like they're literally talking about filling this little prison and then bidding them off to agriculture.
Oh, yes. I heard about this.
Knock it off.
Okay, yeah.
Knock it off. They're wilding out. They're really, really wilding out. So I digress. I'm moving on. Knock it off. Okay. Last but not least, these new tipping machines. Everything has a prompt that says, do you want to tip? You want to tip? Fam, if I go and take my beautiful wife to a restaurant and my children to a restaurant and somebody comes out and they're on the clock, I went to Johnson & Wells. I know that the minimum wage is really, really funky for servers. So you want to make sure that you provide a good tip if you get some good service. You get a bad tip if you don't get good service, but you leave a tip.
You still get a tip.
You get a tip,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I need to know that why am I going to Jersey Mike's or Subway or whatever the random thing is? You take my order the way you're supposed to, the way you did 10 years ago, and I pay at the register. Why is there a prompt that says, would you like to leave a tip? No, I would not like to leave a tip. Knock it off. You know what I mean? Knock it off. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
I'm not tripping. Why is there a prompt
But I
for
look at
everything?
people right in their face and nope, no thank
No
you.
tip.
And keep it moving.
Exactly.
I don't let it bother me.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. You know, now when do I do it? My baristas at my local Starbucks, but I always ask the question. Lincoln's usually with me. I always ask the question: do you get your tips? And they say yeah. They say yeah. I'll leave them a little tip. But there's been people that I've asked, do you get your tips? I don't think so. Which shows me that it's Scammy Davis Jr. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Knock it off. Knock it off.
Knock it off.
So no more tips. No more cowboy boots. And stop this Alcatraz alligator. Stop it. Knock it off. Sorry, that's my old man ring. Get off my lawn. All right. There it is. All right. So listen, we just wanted to prime you guys, prep you. We do have something that we're talking about here. How we doing back there, Mark? We good? Handsome devil, you. What about that mustache though, Annie? All right. So here's the deal. Every episode, we do our best to have something, an idea or a topic, because if not, then we're just rambling and we're just talking about nothing. And although some of those podcasts do really, really well, you just pick a topic that people love, salacious. You know what I mean? You say sex, you say slavery, you say P. Diddy, you say whatever for the clicks, and that is what it is. Not us. I believe wholeheartedly that there is a wave of good quality content that will make its way, and hopefully we're the pillars of that. Or one of the pillars.
One of them,
that.
yeah.
Specifically in this marriage avenue that we're a part of now.
Yes.
So sorry. So we watched this show called Forever. My wife made me watch it after my daughter watched it. I seen the advertisements on Netflix.
Yes.
Prime, Hulu, Netflix.
Netflix. Mm-hmm.
So we watched it on Netflix, and I watched it, and we both fall in love with it. And I want to prime and prep you guys again. This is not a review. This is something that's moved us. And I think it's a perfect time to talk about it because we're parents, we're married, we dated when we were younger. There's a few things and elements that happened within the storyline that definitely took us and triggered some things. And I don't mean trigger in a bad way, triggered in a good way and some in a bad way as well.
Yes.
So it definitely paralleled and aligned our lives from where we're from us living in a certain place in the city. So they're talking specifically to us, to some of the characters. And now, Steve, in it from BTG. Yeah,
you need to stop saying people's names.
Hey, we can beep it out. We can bleep it out. We got an engineer. Sorry. All right. So there's a lot of good things happening there. A lot of people, even the young guy that we're training, young Marvin. That's awesome to see him doing that as well. But nonetheless, we wanted to make sure that we give a quick little overview without ruining it. And then we're going to have a couple of different parts that we're going to ask your feedback for. If you're camera shy, it's okay. I promise. I promise you. It'll be good. No problems. All right. So can you prep Forever, man?
Prep it how?
How did you feel about it? And why did you like it, man?
Okay. So the first thing I'm going to ask is how many people have actually watched Forever?
That's good enough.
Okay. Yeah. So, okay, fair. But that's good to know what we're working with, right?
Yes.
And how much we need to prime.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Forever, it's a remake of, or loosely based off of Judy Blume's Forever. So as a 13, 14-year-old, I read Judy Blume, loved Forever, Summer Sisters.
Yeah.
Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That was a little younger. But anyway, so I loved Judy Blume. Didn't realize the connection. Only knew that our 15-year-old was watching the show and was like, "Oh, I should probably watch it." So I watched it by myself and then watched it again.
Now that you prompt me, you got to watch this.
I was like, "It's so cute. You have to watch it." And then, so I watched it a little bit.
That's going to get me. It's so cute. You got to watch it.
You watched it?
I did.
Okay. And then watched it again with our daughter. So I've watched it several times in a few different spaces. And I will tell you, the time that I watched it with him was probably the most impactful, especially at the tail end of the series. So it's 8 episodes. They're about 40 to 50 minutes a piece, and it really just kind of goes through the trajectory of these two kids. One's pretty awkward and a little
Right.
not undriven, but he's having a lot of obstacles in trying to figure out his next. So he has the pull from his parents and what they're wanting for him. And he happens to be affluent. And so that's important because, again, that's like an added pressure for him. And then we have this female who is very driven. She already knows what she wants to do in life. She knows where she wants to go in college. They never talk about what she wants to study, correct?
No.
Okay. I thought that that was on purpose. But she knows where she's headed. She knows that what she wants to do athletically. Like she's got life figured out because she's got two parents who had to figure it out. And so they were in survival and she's a product of that. So that immediately for me was like, oh, this is very telling because, we're raising a child in a space where our lifestyle is different from the one that we were raised from. And so thinking about those different things is it creates a huge like juxtaposition day to day, I think, with our girl. So anyway, right. So they're going through this. They end up meeting, but they had connected private school route. She's a scholarship kid. He's obviously not. And so they have different backgrounds or backdrops. She also has this scandal of sorts that she's having to deal with because socials, and she had this boyfriend, and basically what does the boyfriend do? Betrays her trust. There's a fallacious act that is committed, and they end up calling it a sex tape, and she gets kicked out of the school. Or is she kicked out? Or no, she leaves. She leaves because, sorry about that, she leaves because of the embarrassment of the situation. But leaving that means she now loses her scholarship and has to move on to a different school. And now her mother has to pay for this. But mom has no idea of the why. So she goes through this transition, not knowing. But again, she's driven and all whatever. Okay. So long and short, she's aspiring to do her thing. And again, very like keen to what is and what her next is. And he's just kind of flapping in the wind, but trying to, create purpose. And so they have to navigate these challenges. And I think in a lot of ways, he's trying to keep up with her, but then she kind of disses him. And then there's this whole like back and forth and moral like challenges that they have to deal with. And then they work it out. They figure it out. And it moves us to like, okay, so now we're at this thing.
Yeah.
And we're in this really adult kind of pseudo adult space, and how is it that we're gonna move forward?
Yeah, I dig that.
Yeah.
And so before we start our
Yeah.
pillars, good lay down. Good lay down.
Thank you. I watched
Before
it
we
last
start
night.
our pillars, so before we get to our pillars, I just wanted to point out the connections to us.
Sure.
All right. So for me, I always talk about a character or something within the storyline that I can gravitate to, something that I want to watch. Let's talk about Power. I don't watch the fallout of all the Power shows because they killed Ghost, and I liked Ghost because Ghost was hyper intelligent and fly. You know what I mean? Was he selling dope and killing people?
Sure
Yeah,
was.
but he was super intelligent. He was
Mhm.
fly, and he had a very high aspirational ceiling. I dug that. So when they kill him, I'm not interested in any of the other characters. So that's how I kind of watch shows. Within this show, it might have been one of the first ones that I said, "Oh my goodness, I can see a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff here." One, Wood Harris, you know what I mean, who was the East Coaster, doing life in LA with his wife, you know what I mean, and doing well. Steve, myself, we don't own some hedge funds, or we don't, we're not like investment monsters. I had a sports company that we did well with, and I was able to sell my shares. That ain't nothing fantastic. That ain't, whatever. But I like the
I
fact
think
that he
it's
has
pretty
a.
fantastic.
I think my guy had a restaurant. I
Hmm.
think that is very noble for him to have a restaurant, because restaurants are very, tough to do, especially in a Chicago, LA, New York. But he's doing well. His family,
And he's growing these.
and he's growing these
Yep.
things. I
Mhm.
love that. Okay, I love that. The boy's going to Camden Hall. where I coached at Campbell Hall. Really, really cool how they did that. I've got some roots there. That was my second job as a coach. So I know how that looks and what that would smell like for a kid living in a certain place in LA.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That high powered, well sought after private school that kids use out here and families use to get their kids where they think they're supposed to go. They talk about whatever wood, which is Brentwood. I love that.
Oh, it was Brookwood.
Brookwood.
That's a school
Which
that
is
she
basically
that she ends
Brentwood.
up leaving. Yep.
So I love that. She leaves that school and goes to the school that's around the corner from us.
St. Maria's.
St. Maria's, which is St. Mary's for us. So I love that. And then all of a sudden we see some of his some of the practices, and I get a chance to see a guy, like we said, from BTG, who we know from BTG, who's also from Wethersfield, Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
So I love all of these connections. You know, the baby boy who we train, whose father is, you know, I mean, somebody that my father adores, who I still believe to be the best male vocalist of all time. You can say BB, I'm going with Marvin Winans. So that's just me. But there's a lot of things, even when they went to see the grandpa at grandpa's house, if you look, we paused it, we can see our son's school.
Oh yeah.
Like these are the streets that we journey and travel. So I appreciate that. And so very much so like Mo, if you haven't watched Mo, watch Mo. That is set in Houston, and that's the plight of a Palestinian dude living in Houston trying to get his visa, him and his family. I loved it. And I think
what connections did you find with Mo?
With not the connections.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify.
Yes.
I like these. We talked about this. Sorry. I'm in love with these new formatted shows, series that talk specifically to specific things and specific people. Atlanta being one of them. Glover's a genius, and it shows you, if you've never been to Atlanta, it shows you a part of Atlanta that you couldn't get to,
the crevices.
Unless you knew. Mo is Houston, and it shows you that perspective from a Palestinian dude who's hustling and trying to get his visa with his family, and negotiating his
dating a Mexican,
right, while also honoring his Muslim faith. So Atlanta, Mo, Insecure, you know what I mean? Inglewood, Ladera from a feminine perspective, you know what I mean? Young people, 20 and up, you know, and then you got this right here, Forever, which talks about the younger kids. They're seniors in high school almost, right? They're seniors in high school.
So they start off in their junior year.
All right.
Midway through junior.
So for us, let's get off on the pillars.
Okay.
Well, first and foremost, we've been dating since we were 14. 15.
My parents gonna watch this.
Yep. So we started dating when we were 14, 15 years old. Same high school. I had this is not a tough guy story, but I had an incident in middle school that involved a gun. I had nothing to do with it, but long story short, my father was able to use the church address for us to be able to go to school on the South End. So I was able to get out of Fox at the time, which was crazy. And I was able to go to Kennelly. Kennelly then puts me in district to go to Buckley High School rather than Weaver, where I was supposed to go. So we ended up at
my
Buckley,
side of town.
Her side of town. So they used to make fun of me. I had to walk by Prince Tech bus stop. I had to walk by the Hartford High bus stop, and they said, "Yo, Steve, you going to school with the Amidas?" That's what they call the Puerto Rican. If you're from Hartford, Steve knows this as well. It's a very unique place. The chances of you marrying a West Indian or a Puerto Rican are very high. My father married a West Indian woman. I married a mixed Afro-Latina. It just is what it is. So that put us in a district. So let's talk about that relationship with them as kids. I think that really spoke to us during that time.
Yeah, I think it was just two different worlds for us in a lot of ways, right? Not just socioeconomically, right? Because my parents weren't rich. It was nothing like that, but we were safe and things were pretty steady, right? And there were no dream builders and things like that. It was like, you got to do what you got to do to make sure that you can pay your bills and live whatever comfortably is. And so that was one thing, but we were on the South Side. So we were with more of the immigrant families. So we were I grew up with Irish, Polish, Italian families. So it was a different culture on top of being, Puerto Rican and having to navigate being a mixed child. So it was just a whole different situation. And going to high school was like, what? Black people? Because I had never really gone to school with Black people. So
and that's all I went to school with.
Right. And so learning certain things. So in dating him, I think Esmeralda Santiago, an author, talks about when she was Puerto Rican. I was like, I had a when I became black type situation in dealing with you.
Hoorah! I love specifically how my brother, who's sitting right here, broke down the doors. We talked about this last night. My brother was like, "No, she's gonna call. Get over it." My father didn't say we couldn't date, but he just didn't say anything, which was saying everything.
Yeah.
Right? It was implied. It was insinuated. It was assumed. Um, so my brother, I remember a couple times he would respond by saying, basically, no, this person's gonna call, you know what I mean, and this is what we're doing. And he kind of like broke down the door. I just said, I'm not gonna fight that war. I'm just gonna do it behind your back, right? But what that also showed was that I wasn't being coached in this regard. So I had a girlfriend and was
Before
dating
me.
and was dating. My story of girls starts a little early.
Right.
It just is what it is, and that's a whole nother episode.
Yeah.
Um, negotiating that stuff. I had older cousins before I moved to Connecticut. Anyway, but it was interesting watching these parents coach their children through a relationship rather than pushing it away.
So
Coaching
you're talking
them
about in Forever.
on forever.
Correct.
So they're coaching. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Of course, mom was upfront about loving that her son was with a black girl.
Can I just say I love that mama and couldn't really take her sometimes because I was like, I'm looking at myself. Oh my God, this is horrible. And it's great. And it's
Yeah.
horrible. Anyway, but
Yeah.
yes, she
So
was a lot.
that
She
was a
was a
lot.
lot.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the other side was dad. So they had a good thing happening. So
He was
dad
too
was
cool.
just like, hey, this is gonna happen. This is what it's gonna be. You know what I mean? We gotta deal with it. He gonna get his feelings hurt. This gotta happen. Let it happen. Let's go ahead and support him and help them and kind of give them some boundaries. So that was very refreshing to see. I love my parents. They did a fantastic job, but that was something that we didn't have. We weren't being coached through early relationships. Or I've actually heard some people call dating baby marriages. It's like practice, shooting jumpers, right? So it's interesting. I love that.
I think this is a good time to like pose the question
Yes,
to
ma'am.
the audience.
To space. Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say to the space. My therapy words.
Go ahead and use that vocab box.
No, so I think thinking about forever, right? As we've given you that as a backdrop and thinking about your own relationships and maybe even teleporting back in time and thinking about where you were when you were 15, 16, really trying to like navigate this I'm an adult, but I'm not really an adult. And I want to seriously date so and so as we prep for prom. Like, what are some of the challenges that you may have experienced in go ahead.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. TTR Nair, would you love? Sorry.
Yeah.
Would you love to come
Let them sit with that for a minute. Let it
and
simmer
talk
for a
about
second.
your experience in that capacity? Come on. Come on.
Thank you for joining us. He should not have put you on the spot.
No, no, that's crazy, right?
Okay.
Yeah, why put her on the spot and make her sit down with a microphone that we already have prepped here?
Okay.
Oh, so you want me to answer now?
Yeah. So just thinking about your own upbringing, teleporting back to high school. What type of challenges do you think you experience as a pseudo adult? Dating, school, expectations, culture. Like you can embody whatever it is that you want to embody, but just thinking about that.
Yeah. Well, one, dating was non-existent. So if you liked a boy, you could do that privately. But that also meant if you liked a boy, you were sneaking holding hands at church where the boy was probably from. And that boy had to have like sisters. So then when you go to hang out with the sisters, then you could see the boy again in secret. Exactly. Yeah. Sneak kisses before Bible study, that type of thing. And yeah, and then when I was a senior, I did have a boyfriend that my mom allowed, but again, he was from church. And he also lived in another state. He was from my church, but a different state. Because my grandfather was the bishop over Massachusetts and Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
So he was from Connecticut, and I could, hang out. He went to prom with me, and I went to prom with him. So it was like sanctioned, but up until him, there was no such thing. And even when we dated, it was, I'll see you at this church event next month. And we get to tell people we're dating, but it doesn't really mean anything. It means that you go to the corner store and you buy my bag of chips. We're
And
together.
I sit next to you, right?
Yeah,
During
yeah.
service,
Save me a seat and make sure I have a fan and a tambourine. Those are my two.
That does it. That means that we are mandated now. We've got to do a separation between faith and church. I think people don't really know what this is, especially on the black side. All right, there's something that needs to be talked about here. There's something between faith and church.
Okay.
Church has a culture. It's interesting. Interesting.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Is there a fella here, a gentleman, who might, Brenton, would you mind, sir?
I'll do a hand
Would
up.
you mind coming and joining us? Thank you, Miss.
Thanks for
Arnea.
having me.
Appreciate you.
You could possibly just let anyone that
Okay.
wants to come in and try rather than
So,
calling
Brenton,
on people.
same question. Take it back to, I know you're only 26 years old. So take it back to your junior, senior year and the idea of dating and your family and school and prom. Was there anyone coaching you through this? Was it something that was implied? Did you have an uncle, OG as we call them, mentor, big brother, friend, dad, somebody who's showing you the ropes in regards to dating?
The ropes in regards to dating. I feel like my parents always gave me some tips. They always wanted me to be safe. They always wanted me to be focused on school, focused on my faith. So there wasn't a whole lot of emphasis placed on dating because that really wasn't where my focus was supposed to be at. But they definitely gave me tips because they knew that I had some relationships and, they knew that I was dating, but there wasn't just a whole lot of focus on that. But if there was anybody who gave me any type of advice about dating back then, I would say it was my parents and then the content that I was taking in, movies, YouTube.
Of course.
Friends, hey, bro, say that to her. Don't say that to her. Like,
The blind leading the blind.
Exactly.
Kidding me? Boys, the men showed me how to talk to. Hey, girl.
Yeah, man. So that's kind of how it was for me. Those were the people who really instilled some dating advice into me.
Appreciate that. Did you see the series?
I have not, but I've heard a lot about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was
Make
going to
sure
ask
you-
you a
Mia, make
follow-up
sure you watch.
question, but I won't do that to you.
My bad.
It's okay. No. It's okay. It's okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
So-
you. Yep.
Okay, so the next pillar, it's on you.
Yep.
It's on you. Okay, so I'll take that. So we talked about the things that we connected with this, specifically the parents who were coaching the kids on this, and I want to jump in.
She wasn't really being coached.
No, she wasn't.
She wasn't being coached.
Kind of, but
A
not
whole lot
re-
wasn't.
Yeah,
Yes.
she had them hood cousins that was kind of helping her out, but they wasn't really helping her. Remember the hood cousins,
Yeah.
aunties. But you're right, but not the way he was.
Because she
Intentional.
was a little more driven, and I think she had to grow up a little bit more, and there were things that were happening in her world and around her that she was aware enough to like make the connection and
smart.
make those applications.
Street smart.
Where he was sheltered a whole lot more, so his parents were coaching,
Yeah.
and some of that coaching did end up helping her, with the whole scam
Mm-hmm.
or the controversy. And so just watching how that went, and I think in a reference to us, right? My parents were not coaching by no means. And they weren't even like having these conversations when they knew that we were dating. I'm not even gonna stutter on that one. They were not coaching. It was just like, no, you can't have boyfriends. Well, I have one.
What happens now?
So now what?
So now.
And so then it was just like, okay, well, invite them over for Thanksgiving, or it was like that.
I get it.
And so now as we're trying to figure this, because this world is different now, and we've got a teenage child, and she's just like, so when can I date? We're like,
Never.
No, you keep like pushing it off. Like, I
No,
got to take you first,
yeah, I got to
and I
take
got
you.
to yeah.
Well, I think we've next thing, next thing, next thing.
Oh,
We
okay.
plan on coaching.
Yeah,
We talked about
exactly,
that, but we want to
exactly.
show you a template. You know what I mean? Sure. If that's the guy, then we've got to do a double date. What's wrong with that? I would like to go on a
Oh,
double
I don't
date
think
so we can.
anything's wrong with it.
Yeah, no. I mean, speaking
Oh,
as if I'm talking to her.
hmm.
But whenever we get to that, it falls right off the cliff. I don't know if she's embarrassed or she thinks that he'll be embarrassed, but she'll always find a way to. Nah, I'm
She's
good.
afraid of you, and I appreciate it. Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's good. Right now, I got a 15-year-old. My daughter and my father said this to me too. Right now, you supply wisdom and truth, and that's not what she's looking for. It'll come.
Mm-hmm.
It'll come. So I get it. I totally understand that.
Okay.
So next part. Not this is not as this is a little more abstract, but it's a thing. I love the idea of that Mara Brakakil and the writers allowing for Black people to walk from under this monolithic umbrella,
Mm-hmm.
but also giving you so many different colors and versions of it. And I appreciated that. Usually it's always one strong hyperbole. It's this way or that way. Well, in this particular story, like you said, an affluent family, you know what I mean, from a guy who's from the East Coast and had a well-to-do restaurant. I love that. A young girl whose mother is working hard, you know what I mean, working hard just to provide, you know what I mean, to do the best she can. And, her father, even that part, the father part, it deals with something that we don't talk about, the difference between absenteeism and deadbeat.
Deadbeat.
I'm like, oh, he's not a deadbeat. He was absentee. He's around. He's providing something, but he's absentee, and he knows his faults, but he's still invited in. He's not excluded when things are happening. I'm like, that happens more than people think. They don't talk about it, or writers and developers are not strong enough to articulate that. So I kind of dig it.
Yeah,
I love that.
she did a good job of like getting at the nuance
Yeah,
that happens, and
yeah,
I think that's really important
yep.
for
For people to see, and not
right.
just us, but it is always good to see a representation. And I've been saying this, and people have been yelling this for years. We're not one monolith. We don't all come from a struggle and then finally figure it out, or we don't all want to be basketball players and rappers. That's not the story. There's so many different views, per views of us as Black folks. So to see a mother busting her butt, and to see parents who are well off, who can buy their kid, who can surprise them after a trip to Martha's Vineyard that wasn't bougie, right? Because in my head, coming from where we come from, you go to Martha's Vineyard, you bougie, right? Well, Black folks been doing it for years, and there's some folks that ain't bougie. It's just dope. It's a
Mhm.
great place to be, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah. And they get back from Martha's Vineyard, and he has a car.
Mhm.
That's regular.
Mhm.
That's regular. Some Black folks can afford that. That wasn't something we was doing, but that's not our story.
No.
But I love the idea of them shedding light, and as I said, allowing Black folks to walk from up under this monolithic umbrella of what TV says Blackness is. So I really, really dug that.
I did too. I like to take it two steps back too, because I even appreciated when they were on Martha's Vineyard, right? And they had 2 weeks of a stay or whatever it was. And them parents was smoking and drinking, and they was like, F them kids, right? And so the idea is that only happens at a certain level, at a certain socioeconomic level. And it's like, no. Y'all may not say it a certain way, but you need a minute and a break just like everybody else. And you take it however it is that you need to take it. So I appreciated even seeing it in that respect, because I mean, I grew up with tight parents, and the drinking and things like that didn't always happen because we had some sort of like
some unspoken. Yeah.
It was just judgment. There was this level of judgment, like, we don't do that. Like, what you mean? And so then we'd have to be with certain family for those things to come out, right? Because if you were in company of, a different culture, then it was like, oh no, you can't do that unless it's okay of the culture.
Yeah.
And so it was good to see, no, these people are well off, and here they are doing certain things that would be considered like ratchet.
Right. I loved it. And like I
Yeah.
said, it didn't go too far left,
No.
too far right. You know what I
No.
mean? Some writers would have Now they're going skiing. It don't mean black folks don't ski, but come on, we ain't really skiing like that. But I liked how they was on.
We will rent the
Right.
lodge.
Right.
Okay.
We'll rent the lodge and sit underneath that fire and go to dinner. We'll do all of those things.
Yeah.
And be fly because we like it. Because we like it when it's cold.
Oh,
we
yeah.
East Coasters, y'all.
I love the Sherlin and the
Sherlins
hoodie
and
and
the
the
scarves and
yeah.
the-
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
Yeah. See, you know how
Mhm.
it goes, man. You know how it goes.
Definitely.
So I really enjoyed, once again, them walking from underneath that monolithic umbrella. There's so many different points during the story where you can point to someone being thoughtful, like, bang, I'm putting that there.
Yep.
Martha's Vineyard, I'm putting that there. Or the black girl going to a private school, but when she got kicked out of the school or opted out of the school, she still kept it. One of her best friends was that white girl.
Right.
And I'm like, I love that.
I
That's
appreciated
a real
that
thing.
too.
I appreciate that. She didn't turn her back.
Mhm.
She, her mom allowed her to go on this trip. I really, really appreciate it. I'm like, I keep saying this, like, we're not all rappers and hoopers, you know what I mean? And I love this. I love that idea because, one of the reasons we moved to LA was, we wanted to see if we can survive in a big city, big ocean, you know what I mean?
We wanted to thrive.
We wanted to thrive.
In a big
and we
city.
wanted the opportunity. We jokingly said, I wanted my kids to have the opportunity to say, hey, I am going up to Big Bear. Hey, I'm going to San Diego. Hey, I might be doing this. I might be doing that. All we had, my brother's sitting here, all we had is Artist Collective. That's all you had. If you was an artist, you had Artist Collective, and that was it. If you want to play ball, if you ain't make it on your high school team, then you weren't really hooping. So it's like you had very, very, very small, you had to have a really big dream to get out of our small place. So I really loved how the private schools, even though they're suggesting Brentwood and Campbell Hall, but the mama was kind of foofy and bougie, but she was still girl. I said, thank you for showing this whole eclectic, diverse, beautiful array of us. I love that.
Me too.
I love that. And different types of parenting.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Her father being hood, you know what I mean? But he said something that was everything. Like, yo, this boy's clingy. He was right. He was talking crazy, but boy, he was like, yo, this dude is clingy.
Mhm.
He ended up being right. So I just liked all of that. I loved that piece of it.
Same.
Yeah. Question. Can I pose the question?
Please.
Was there a time in your life where you felt that you had to posture, negotiate, kind of walk the balance beam regarding your culture or your faith or something of that magnitude by going to a school in the burbs and so on and so forth? I'm already looking at someone because we had the conversation with him, but I'm just wondering if there's someone out there that might be
He's
able to
totally
speak
pressuring
to
the audience.
someone, speak to this idea of having to walk the tightrope between your culture and who you are, your faith, and all these different things. I wonder if there's anyone out there
Give some think
that
time.
can speak.
Let's give some think time.
All right.
No pressure.
Not at all. Not at all.
Very unique story.
Yeah. So you guys know, my wife knows. At home, I was raised strictly Ghanaian, so it's a very, very African household. When we moved from the jungles to Northridge or Granada Hills first, I very much had that Brentwood kind of experience where you're just plopped into a lot of different cultures.
Jungles is a project.
Jungles is like the project
it's
areas
like a
out here
complex.
in LA.
No worries.
Training day.
Training day.
Training
Last
day.
scene of Training Day where Denzel ends up like rolling through and then gets, yes, that's the old neighborhood. So moving from that and then moving to the San Fernando Valley was very much a culture shock. And then secondly, just navigating the space of seeing Arabic people, Filipino people, Hispanic people, white people all in this melting pot. But so it was odd. But outside of that, I was treated as just like a regular black person to not to say too many words, right? It was just, there's nothing different. So I had to walk the place of, do I act a certain type of way to get a certain type of acceptance in the spaces that I was in? Or do I try to be what I'm used to being at home? But that was also at a time where being tapped in with their culture wasn't cool yet. Like how now people have, their country in their
Right.
IG bios and stuff like that. Before it was just, oh, you're African, you're an African booty scratcher, or interesting stuff like that. So a lot of fights,
Very
a lot of
interesting.
disagreements, things like that. But it was very odd. I can't say I navigated it smoothly, but it was very eye-opening to see how different types of people based off of your proximity to being affluent was. Because there were other black people that were in Northridge or in Granada Hills for the last 30 or 50 years, and they go to Knollwood Country Club or something like that. And I have no idea what a country club is.
Right.
Or y'all golf? Or
Bro, we from Connecticut. People think that we went to like private schools. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
Central Connecticut is totally different than what you see on TV.
yeah.
We didn't go to Pomfret and all these academies. It was like, bro,
yeah.
I'm on a bus.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it
You
was
bust
an
take you
interesting
down to all the
experience. It was an interesting experience.
So what type of challenges do you think you experienced? Was that part of your
Was
question?
that part of the question?
It is now.
Oh, okay.
Challenges were, there was zero coaching.
Mm.
I am, like I said, at home, it was very much African raised. So a lot of cultures, especially for like a firstborn child, whether it's a boy or a girl, is kind of, you have to figure it out. But we have this very high standard for how you're supposed to function, both in our household and out in society. So everything pretty much was a challenge. If I was struggling in school, do I go back home and talk to my dad about it? If I was trying to navigate if I liked a girl or how to even go about it, do I bring it home? For the record, I never dated anyone before my wife.
She's the only.
Good answer.
The
Good
only.
answer.
For the record. For the record.
And boy, does she have a story too.
Yes.
Man, does she have
yes.
a story.
Which is why I love her. So it's very unique. But there was none of that coaching. It was very much the blind leading the blind, but also navigating it on my own because there were not many people living that type of experience
Mhm.
outside of maybe 2 other people in that vicinity. And that was just like my cousin and like one other person.
Mhm.
So and that, even that dichotomy was different because he came from a 2-parent household that was very much more of like the young man in Forever, where their parents were very involved, complete family. I wouldn't say affluent, but they're comfortable, like they're really, really solid. So he had that type of coaching and support.
Mhm.
And me navigating it, I was looking at him. So whatever positive mood he made, I tried to follow everything that he did so that it would be a reflection of me and so that my parents or my family would be thumbs up and approve of what I was doing.
Mm.
Mhm.
That's
So,
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Thank you kindly,
Appreciate
sir.
that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Clap
for
it up
that
him.
perspective.
My guy.
Thank you.
My guy, Dave.
Mhm.
And there's so much more. If you guys knew his story and his wife's story, it's so much, a melting pot. But, I know we're up against it. So I'm so sorry.
We have about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So the next pillar, I want to make sure we get this just in case we don't have the time.
Okay.
The next pillar was with marriage for grown folks. Watching this married couple handle their business as a team was so refreshing. There were moments of light tension, which it speaks to us. The longer we go in our relationship, we don't have major explosions. They're just little dust ups, little skirmishes, verbally, and then we move on. Not that we're pushing something under the carpet, it's that we're raw, we've opened, we've been naked, so to speak, regarding certain things. So our relationship has grown in so many different ways. So to see this echoed and to see this union of 2 different ideologies and thoughts. Mom was super tight, and I could see them. Oh man, she's going through it with this boy. Her heart, she's protecting his heart. The Ladera scene when they're at the Ladera Park that we go to all the time. If you watch my IG, I'm at that park all the time. So to see mom.
She names her parenting style. Well, she'd
Okay.
gone to therapy and she named her parenting style catastrophic.
Okay.
But that was actually the technical term for it. So she's like a helicopter parent who's trying to protect her children from being hurt.
Mhm.
She doesn't want them to feel any kind of hurt. So it's a little different from helicopter in that, like, oh, are you feeling a certain way? And so because of it, she's reacting while and sometimes her son is responding.
Yeah.
And so there's this huge sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically in the park scene where you can see that mom is like, something ain't right here.
Oh yeah.
And she's watching this and she's going into that mold. And then to watch because I've given you a chance. I'm rocking with my son, I'm rocking with you. I'm happy that he's happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then to see this moment where the gentleman that she
used to date. Yep.
Hot shot basketball player from one of these private schools. He's the guy being recruited by all of these different schools, but did her dirty.
He's the one that betrayed her.
He betrayed her.
He released the video.
And sidebar too, it also, as a dad, also showed me how I felt. I empathized for him too. Not sympathize, but empathize. Like, he made a mistake too.
He did.
He made a mistake. Who's coaching him? You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, bro, you about to go play ball Division 1 somewhere, and there's, even though you're not the girl, but your situation is out there as well, too, homeboy.
Mhm.
That's not how you handle. So that was cool, but I felt it. Like I said, when mom and mom were having a conversation, and ex-boyfriend that mom didn't know was ex-boyfriend was standing there, girl and new boyfriend developing something, and mom was like, I gotta protect my baby boy. I gotta protect him. You know what I mean? And I'm like, ah. And then they get back to the house, and eventually they find out when they come back from during Martha's Vineyard.
It happens way
Way
later.
Yeah, way
Mhm.
later. They find out that she's had a moment that's been broadcast, via social media, and she's had these issues and problems. Even the way they handled that, they didn't run from it. He walks in the house and they sit him down. We need to holler at you.
They waited.
They waited.
Yes.
And I love that. You
'Cause
know what
I
I mean?
don't know if I would've waited.
love that. Well, I mean, without saying too much, we had a situation,
Mm.
a family situation that we had to negotiate, navigate, coach,
Mhm.
support,
Mhm.
all of those words, right? And you get through it, but it ain't easy because you want to protect. And for me, I still believe in violence. I want to do that too, right? So it's like, how do we support each other as mother and, as I'm sorry, as father and mother, and then how do we support each other as husband and wife? And the part that I love is in the vineyard when she's waking up, they hint at their intimacy during that. And I love that because we're now starting to show our son, our daughter knows what it is, but we're now starting to show our son, hey, we love each other like that, which is actually healthy. You know what I mean? Rather than them getting it from movies or getting it from social media or inappropriately from friends. Hey, dad just smacked mom on the butt. Interesting. Why, when I come around the corner, do they separate? Interesting. Like what do you say the other day? I know you guys kiss. I know you guys kiss. Or, what I'll say is when we come home, he runs to his mom. He loves his mama. And he runs and he jumps on her. And I'm like, you better get your hands off my wife, but she's my mom too. And I was like, I don't know, fam. We're going to split the difference. But I love to watch this particular couple's rendition of marriage, how they're raising the kids, how they're respecting each other, even to when he walks back in the room, you can go to the party. But they shows you a quick time lapse. He didn't just override mom. They had a conversation. And then he walks in, hey man, you can go to the party. But remember, remember, and remember. And I said, oh, I love this. Addressing the devil. You know what I mean? As opposed to letting him roam. You know what I mean? I love that.
No. But I also think that that's a reflection of what was when we were growing up, right? And so you grow up, you have children, you want to do better. I feel like those are cliche statements, but it's true. And we're watching in certain spaces and watching how parents are showing up differently for their children and still getting it wrong. Like still not getting it wrong, but not getting all of it right. Let me say it that way, right? So, because I think even in our situation, we're thinking about what you had talked about with our girl. She made a comment yesterday without telling her business. She said, neither of you yelled at me in that moment. And it wasn't the same situation. I don't want to say it, but it was similar in some ways. And she noted that, and that was like, I get a gold medal because I've done something right, and I may not have done a whole lot of other things right in this space.
Stop the right and wrong thing. You're doing a fantastic
because
job.
I think-
You're
I
doing a
think I am
fantastic
too.
job. You're doing a
Thank you.
fantastic job. You're doing.
I did not do that.
Get a
for
closet. Get a closet.
applause.
Get a closet. Get a closet. Get a closet. Get a closet.
But I think that these shows or these series highlight the trouble that we have sometimes as we're trying to there's so many things that I wanted to do differently because my mom and I didn't always see eye to eye, and it created something kind of difficult as an adult. So now I have this emerging adolescent and child, and I'm want to date. She is a lot of things, but I see a lot of myself in her, and I'm like, oh, I'm triggered, and I can't. Let me not act like this. But sometimes acting like that is the right thing to do. And
Yeah.
that's what you have
We-
to learn to.
We are. It's interesting. We lose our cool over the small things. We go crazy over trash being put back in correctly. We going crazy over leaving food out.
Sometimes.
We going crazy over you didn't close the freezer. Now everything unthawed, and that cost it's $140 worth of food in there. We going crazy over that. But when something major happens, we be like, which is
Not
funny.
like that. We just
But
we know to pause.
We're ready. You were ready.
We know
Like,
to pause.
This
Yes.
is what it is.
Correct.
This is what we're gonna do.
But don't let them garbage trucks go by and she didn't put that
Right.
trash out on Wednesday. How many times I have to tell you? Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, and I think I think it does us a good service. Like yesterday, we had a conversation, an impromptu conversation with another couple
Yes.
who's going through some of the similar things. These help us validate some of our stories. It helps us realize that we're not in the war together.
Yep.
We're not in the war by ourselves. And it's really cool to see other people parent in parenting styles. For instance, one of my assistant coaches, really cool dude, always like this, like never loses his cool, right? There's a time that me and another coach had noted, hey, because his son played for us.
Uh-oh.
Like, hey, this son seems to be getting away with a lot of murder. You know what I mean? Seems like he's there might be a little soft over there, over at that house. Maybe it ain't what we thought it was.
Don't be telling
right?
people business.
And then in the middle of a game, something popped off, and we had to separate the rest of the. I'm like, yo, he gonna kill his son. He gonna kill this boy. I'm like, can you let's bring the huddle over here? And I was like, oh, it ain't what I thought it was. He just know when to go in and when not to go in. And the kid's a fantastic kid, and the father's a fantastic father.
Yep.
I mean, he may or may not be sitting in this audience. I don't know, but it's just cool to see other people parent.
Yes. Okay. We're being cued to
We're
go
being
to the
cued.
last.
All right, last.
To our
Okay,
last
so
pillar.
last one, last piece. It meant a lot to us to see these kids make a mature decision when they were getting ready to go to school, when she was going to school. That don't happen all the time. They wrote it that way. It don't happen that way. We didn't happen that way.
Can you give me a bit of a stronger
Yes,
intro? Okay,
I got
thank you.
So she's getting ready to go to school. It works out for her. He gets into school, it works out for him too, but that ain't what he really wants. His heart is somewhere different.
Okay.
And I can empathize with even that sidebar because I lived with someone. And one of my best friends was. So I'm like, these artists, telling them to go to school, it don't work for them. That's torture for them to make them sit in a school for 180 days, 6 hours a day. That's not how their brain works. So I understood that. But I also loved how mom was like, this is what you want to do? All right, cool. So what I'm saying is, he was even willing to drop what he was doing to go be where she was at. That's how lost he was. I'll just go to your school. But she was sharp enough to realize that ain't what you really want. And I don't think you really know what you want. And I don't think this is going to work. We love each other. We've been in love. We've been through the storm. But it's time for us to go do our own thing. And I love that because that triggered me.
Oh, I cried.
We tried long distance relationships, and it was rocky. I was a cheater, straight up and down. I'm playing ball. I'm in different states. I'm finding my zone. I wasn't a broke kid because I cut hair, so I had money in my pocket. I'm hooping. I'm putting up numbers. I was feeling myself, But we were still trying this union. There was no one there to coach us and say, "Hey, that don't mean she won't be here or he won't be there later. But why don't you go try this college thing with a clean slate? See how that works." That could clear your mind, clear your heart. And that way you're not conflicted all the time regarding that thing. And then if what y'all put together was solid, it'd be there. Nobody told me that. So to see these kids make this decision and sit in that car and cry, but we're going through with this. We ain't going back out because we know it ain't right. I really appreciated seeing that on
I did
screen.
too. I did too. And 19-year-old me was like, why? Why didn't we just break up? That's the truth. And I think we talked about that because we had that conversation, right?
Right.
So the last episode, they do whatever they need to do and they make sure to call it quits, but they go on a date. So they leave it on a high, which is beautiful, right? But it's a hard one. And I'm like, we did that like 17 times.
Real talk.
We did, right?
Real
Like,
talk.
this is
I
it.
love
This
you.
is
I
it.
love
My
you.
friends
I love
will be
you.
like,
I
girl,
love you. I love
please.
you. I gotta go. I gotta go. What you doing tomorrow?
Yeah. but no coaching. That's really what it was. Like no guidance, right?
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
guidance.
Yep.
So
Yep. And last but not least,
oh, okay.
I love how they cap it off. They talking about another season. I'm not interested. Sorry, but I love how they capped it off with him pursuing his passion as a producer. You know what I mean? As a producer,
He's
but
working.
but he talked about how he had to go to work, and I'm
Mhm.
like, that means his parents gave him another template to work with
Mhm.
without judging him and allowing him to pursue his music dream. I love that too. Like, yeah, you have a car, we're loaded. You don't really need the money, but you need to go work and feel this out. You need to go try this out because you know you got to pay your insurance, and you got to. I just without them doing and saying it, you can tell that that happened, which shined a brighter light on them being a couple and a parent. I dig that. That was so dope.
And dare we say, like that's one of the challenges that Black folks have in, or I would say Black or brown, right, have in a specific culture where, and I'm not going to say it doesn't happen in other spaces, right, but we want to do so well for our children that we create this new thing because we didn't have, or
Yeah.
there was so much lack, right? And so then when you get here and then your kids aren't aspiring to do as much as we did when we were younger because they don't have to, and they're
Right.
like, oh wait, maybe we shouldn't give them stuff. But I don't want my kids like we talked about yesterday. I don't want my kids getting it from out the mud, right? Like we don't want that
Yeah,
for
them
our
days is
children.
done.
Oh,
It's
I
3
need-
o'clock.
I have to drink my water. Sorry about
Being
that.
married.
Yeah. So anyway, I think it's great that we're talking about that specifically because when we are coaching our children, right, one of the things that we have to go back and revisit is like, how do we set the playing field to just look different from what we saw? And
Mhm.
keeping that in mind. I hope I'm saying that
Yeah.
well. So just thinking about that. And I love that they explore that, but also, I mean, because we say it all the time, right? Like our money is not your money.
You ain't got no money.
You
You're broke.
our stuff is not yours. This is just part of reaping the benefits of being in our space and in our home. And once you get to your own home, then you can talk about your money. You can
Right.
decide how you
And
want
we're
to
going
move.
to show you how to do that.
Right.
We're going to show you how to invest. We're going
Right.
to show you how to find a good financial advisor. We're going to show you how, even if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a dancer or singer, we're going to show you how to get to it. And then we're going to show you how to save it and grow it.
Right. And then naming like that's not typical. I don't know. I only know being in a Black and Puerto Rican household. So that's my story. But I understand that in other spaces, that is not how it works.
Well, you know, we can go forever, but
I'm
Black
not.
folks been surviving for so long. And, you know, now we're in a space where it's like, oh, okay, some of us have done well.
Mhm.
So do I want my kids to be entitled brats? Or should I throw them into the cage? Like, we're dealing with that. Like, I'm like, were we better?
A little
just
bit of this and
living?
a little bit of that. I don't
Sometimes
know.
it feels like,
Yeah.
were we better? Like, are we better off raising these kids without? It's crazy.
Yeah.
I get it. I totally understand. But so that's our review / breakdown of why we love that show forever. I hope it inspires you guys to watch the show, and I hope they.
I mean, or don't watch it.
Or don't watch
But think about how you're raising your babies, you know, or think about what your next steps
Dr.
are.
Will, is that you back there, Dr. Will? Did you sneak in, Dr. Will? My guy. My guy. My guy. So, would you like to end, ma'am? Do you recollect?
So I
One
think
of our favorite segments.
You kind of went off and talked about your past.
Yeah.
Checkered past.
Why I gotta be checkered?
Well, I mean, you kind of like
it was a part of my development.
So
I needed to get there to get to you, baby.
Get back to me. You mean get back to me? That's what it was. Yes. So no, I was the
My
recollect.
sister-in-law going at me right now.
Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, the recollect was just going to be along the lines of like thinking about how, you know, parallels for us.
Yeah.
And at one moment, specifically that time.
Yeah.
Where you were just like, I probably should have.
I wish I would have. If I could do
severed
it all
the
over
tie.
again, I wish I would have severed. I can't say I didn't try a couple times, but I wish. But I'm glad
I
we're
didn't
here.
take no very well.
She doesn't take no. You do not take no very well. But nonetheless, it got us where we had to get to. And if we don't go through that, we don't get married. We don't help inspire certain people. And we don't have these two beautiful people walking around the earth who will also do the same. And we don't get a chance to get a fantastic crew of people here inside of this place that was introduced at my brother's birthday party. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So this is cool. This is super duper cool, man. So
Okay.
once again, I am one half of the co-hosting team. Steve. That beautiful lady over there is,
I'm Liz.
and this has been
Marriage for Grown Folks.
Check us out on not all social mediums, but TikTok, Marriage for Grown Folks. Facebook, Marriage for Grown Folks. Instagram, Marriage for Grown Folks. Drop us a line, comments, feedback. I can take the negative stuff, but that's my wife. Watch your mouth. All right. Thank you guys. Love you. See you again.